Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, all right. So, I mean, I mean, we don't know if they shot it down or what, but by the way, for everyone who's on YouTube, I know you can't hear. He's in my ear. It's my buddy Ben here talking about these drones in New Jersey, and he wanted to bring up the flags. He says the flags are important. I have a whole thing on the flags. I wrote it down somewhere, but um, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think they do, and they're covering it up by saying we don't know, but everything's safe. Um, all right, let's see. I'm trying here. I'm pulling up my Brave browser here. We're gonna pull up my browser so we can take a look at. Um, is this it? Was this it right
All right.
here?
Wouldn't it be nice if that's what we heard out of the White House? You know what I'm saying? And look, landing. I mean, they caught the Chinese guy, right? That they just found at the airport.
Right, you're absolutely right, Chris. Thank you so much for having me. And I actually wholeheartedly
They're all over New Jersey. It's not in one spot, by the way, either. It, can someone just type my name on my name into the chat? I have a hard time finding how to type in the chat while I'm on. It's just Joe Lustica, and that's how you'll find me on there. But if you're going to join on YouTube, then hold on one second. Let me get over. And good morning, everybody who's watching on YouTube. Guess what? That is the Zoom link. You can join on and be a part of this conversation. Ben, we're waiting for you. You're talking in my ear, but YouTube can't hear you. So that's very fancy. But yeah, no one can hear you on YouTube. That's it's like TikTok, totally fine. Everyone gets it. But on YouTube, no one hears you. I don't listen. I think the only Coldplay song I know is the one that Joe Satriani tried to sue them over. And I mean, I might know other songs by them, but I just don't follow them. But you know how I know you're happy? uh, because your breath smells like roosters. Shut up. Oh my God. Rooster Cola. Look at this. No one on YouTube hears anything you're saying right now. They think I'm crazy because they can't hear you because you didn't join on Zoom yet. I I sent you the link. All right. If you're on, anyone who's in YouTube, if you want to join, I'm gonna pin the Zoom link for the Zoom chat. You go ahead and join in on Zoom and have a conversation with us about whatever. He just wants to see this. He wants me to explain the flag that's behind like this FBI agent or something. So he needs to show us what he's talking about because I don't know what he's talking about. I don't see any of those flag things. Oh, I gotta admit people. Oops, let me turn that off. Hi, Sam.
Morning, Joe.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just to be forewarned, you are on YouTube live, so
Okay.
okay. All right. And technically, you're the first one to show up on YouTube because I got someone in my ear, which I'm taking off now because he left.
Oh, okay.
But guys, if you're on TikTok, join us on how do I do this? Okay. go ahead and join us on YouTube. The Zoom link is on YouTube. So go type on in YouTube Joe Lostica. You'll find me. I'm live right now. You can come and watch. All right. And then if you want to join in, but if you just want to hang out and you can just hang out here instead if you want to do that. But otherwise, that's what we're doing. Well, while we're waiting for Ben, anything you gotta say, or is the Zoom on Telegram as well? I'll share it on Telegram. I'll share it in the Telegram. I'm gonna go to my channel. I'm gonna share it in the channel. Live now. Join. Boom. There you go. And I bet you when I share this on Telegram, people are probably looking at this link going, that might be a scammer. Because, it does work like that sometimes. I've seen the scammers sharing links and stuff. Go to this Telegram channel. I'm not going to go on my Telegram channel and go tell you to join another Telegram channel. But that's what the scammer does. Bam. All right. So, what do you guys want to talk about? We can talk about anything. I mean, we were talking about this drone thing, but Ben's going to have to come on and just show what he's talking about. I will allow screen share. All right. So, good morning. I'm here. Hey, here. How you doing? All right. So, I'll tell you what. Since we'll do this in the meantime, there's always stuff to study. So, I'm going to show you guys something really cool. Okay. This is called Army regulation. Okay. Let me find my thing here. I'm going to show you. This is the Army regulations. All right. Now, you guys know me. I'm not into mythology, patriotic mythology stuff. I'm into facts. Okay. So I like dealing with facts. And we're going to look at this unclassified Army regulation book. Okay. This is about flags, Gideon streamers, tabards, automobile plate, and aircraft plates.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Look in your Telegram. I just sent you the TikTok. It's at the very beginning. The guy is asking the question, and the flag is to his right.
Okay, so this pertains to that. So I'm going to show everybody what we're talking about first, and then we're going to go look at this flag and determine what kind of flag it is. All right. So I want to show you guys this. So this is the book. Remember, it's called Army Regulation 840-10. Okay, and that's what we're looking at. And now we're going to scroll down here because we want to talk about what the flags look like, right? All right, flag of the United States. The flag of the United States is the symbol of our nation. The Union, white stars on a blue field, a field of blue, is the honor point of the flag. The union of the flag and the flag itself, when in company with other flags, is always given to honor position. For example, the marching right, the flag's own right, and the observer's left facing the flag. Okay. The flag of the United States must always be of current design as prescribed by Title IV United States Code, Chapter 1, right? The U.S. flag will always be displayed or carried in ceremonies when any other flags are displayed. Okay. Size and occasions for display. So they have all the sizes, the different occasions, Independence Day, Flag Day, Father's Day. See that? Father's Day. You didn't know that, huh? Supposed to fly the U.S. flag for Father's Day, people. What are you guys doing? All right. Now, look what it says here. It says, flags listed below are for indoor display and for use in ceremonies and parades. For these purposes, the flag of the United States will be a rayon banner cloth or heavyweight nylon trimmed on 3 sides with golden yellow fringe. Okay. 2.5 inches wide. It will be the same size or larger than other flags displayed or carried at the same time.
I tried to come to bed last night. Are you?
Shush.
You see the hoodie, Joe?
Oh yeah, peanuts. I mute everybody. What the heck? People, I don't know how this happens, but this is bonkers. Like you come on here and then you unmute and then let all your, whatever conversations go on enter the conversation. And it's if you're like 8, I get it. But guys, let's be a little bit responsible with these mute buttons. All right, so it's telling you that they're going to list out what these gold fringe yellow fringe flags are for. Okay. This will be displayed by U.S. Army occasional flag. Okay. This flag size will be displayed in the Army field flag. Okay. It can be for indoor display, office, headquarters, or organization authorized to a positional color, distinguishing flag or organizational color, organization of battalion size or larger, temporary, permanent, military offices, not otherwise authorized, an indoor flag in the United States for the purpose of administering oaths of office, military courtroom. Have you ever been in a courtroom where they're flying this they have an example here, gold fringe flag? You are in a military courtroom. You can't make this stuff up, people. Okay? That's it right there. I think so. And of course, it says U.S. Army element, subordinate element in the United States Recruiting Command, ROTC units, SES employee for permanent retention. Okay, so there you go. But it tells you right there, if you're in a courtroom that has one of these gold fringe flags flying on it, you're in a military courtroom, right? Military courts exercise admiralty jurisdiction, right? Makes sense. So what are they telling you here? What kind of courtroom are you going into? All right, now let's look at what Ben just sent. He sent a TikTok to me. Shows this other flag. And let's take a look at this flag.
What is going on in New Jersey?
Sir, the FBI and our Newark field office, along with the state and local partners there, the Bureau is actively investigating the situation you.
Let's see.
What is going?
That's a gold fringe flag. See that? Well, it's a military courtroom. So they're actually talking to the corporation. Okay. Now we don't know if the flag is actually standing up or if it's actually being held where it's, like horizontal, or if it's vertical to the ground, right? Like if it's long way down or long way left to right, we can't tell from here. But we could probably surmise that it's probably left to right and just hanging down because of gravity, right?
Going on in
Of who's responsible. Bureau has done flying there.
But yeah,
that public safety incident that would put Americans at risk?
There's nothing that is known that would lead me to say that, but we just don't know, and that's the concerning part.
The concerning part is that the greatest military mind in the world has no idea what's going on with little ass drones.
no
Yeah.
idea. I think they know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know what because here's what they said. They said, we're not sure what's going on or what this is or what's happening, but there's nothing to worry about. I said, well, how can you say that there's nothing to worry about if you don't know what's going on?
Exactly.
So
Who are they talking to? I mean, gold fringe. Come on.
yeah, it's all for the corporation, right? It's all corporate stuff. So military tribunal, corporate stuff. It has nothing to do with the people. All right. When they're talking to the people, there will be no gold fringe on the flag behind them. Okay. And you can go look through like all these different politicians when they're talking and go look at the flags behind them, and then listen to what they're talking about depending on how that flag is set up. And that tells you what contract they're under, right? Because it's all about contracts, right?
There, if you look, there's a Zoom chat.
Oh yeah. Why is there a Zoom chat? Why do I feel like these drone sightings are a test to see how civilians react because next is UFOs? Yeah, you're right. I mean, you could always talk. Guys, listen, it's okay to unmute it to be in the conversation. Just don't unmute and then let all this, all the noise in the area take over the conversation. If you got something to say, you can unmute. You're welcome to do that. All right. But like if you're like having like I've had people unmute and there's like fighting going on, like people are arguing or bickering. Like what? Why are you unmuting to have everyone hear your shit? Keep it to yourselves, people. All right. So but yeah,
So having grown up in that area, we have, I mean, Earl was the big spot out there, right?
Earl.
Earl, yeah. You don't remember the Navy weapons station?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot. I'm thinking
Oh my,
Earl like a
how
dude.
did
I'm
you
like, oh,
forget, dude? There's a road that like civilians are literally not allowed to drive on that goes from the water all the way to like central Jersey. You don't remember that?
you're not
The
supposed to drive
military
down that
road
road.
that goes through Middletown?
You're not supposed to drive down that road.
No. There's signs everywhere.
Well, I'm not saying I did.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that
You
I
never hopped on that road to get to Birch Hill faster.
never. No.
No.
Don't lie, Joe.
Yeah. I would never do something like that. No, not me. I
No.
would never, make my life more convenient. um, so,
But yeah, so that was irritating. I mean, their response to how quickly they're saying they don't know something is like insane. Insane. How quickly they say everything is fine and we have no idea what's going on.
yeah,
Oh yeah, they know what's going on. They know. They know. Nobody should listen to any of the politicians or police force or the news. They totally know what's going on.
yeah, I agree. There's people in TikTok saying the same thing. Like, they're just pushing to see how we react. They're just feeling us out. Guys, if you're on TikTok and you want to join the conversation, go over to YouTube and click on the Zoom link and join us on Zoom because that's where we're actually having the conversation. All right.
So here's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Um, having been so well versed in the law that you are, what amendments do they have towards drones, or are they just encompassing drones in aviation equipment as a whole?
It's like, well, it has to do with it's more like aviation. In fact, that's a good point. Let's go look this up.
Because I feel like it's aviation as far as what within airspace, and most airspace starts at about 100 to 200 feet. So if
Yeah.
it's not defined, then how are they enforcing these laws? Oh, I did air quotes. You can't see them.
I wasn't gonna be looking anyway. No, but let's see. Trying to think, where would this fall under?
I mean, if the FBI is involved, then it's an FAA. So check the Federal Aviation Administration. That would be the first place to check.
Yeah, but I'm looking in the codes. I want to see like where that would be exactly. Because it could fall under a couple of different things. It could fall under National Guard, navigation, navigable waters, right? Because like the Air Force is actually a branch of the Navy, right? So that's what I'm thinking, kind of along those lines, but I could be wrong. War, national defense. Okay, maybe Title 50. Let's.
Wait, are you an adult male and you just admitted that you could be wrong about something?
Mhm.
Wow. You definitely listen to
There we
Coldplay.
go. All right, I found it. It took me a minute, but I found it. It's Title 50, and it's about aircrafts. And there's fucking nothing there. Holy shit.
Oh, does anybody have a drone? Because I've had a few.
I have a drone.
When you get up to a certain place in a certain style of drone, literally before you even get 60 feet in the air, the thing comes up on your screen and says the FAA needs to know who you are, where you are, what you're doing. They want you to know, like everything. you're not going to get that close to a civilian area with a drone the size of the ones that they have without it being the government. Period.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They know. I
They
flew a
know.
drone. I flew a drone, and the freaking the park ranger showed up within 10 minutes. And he's like, get over here and talk to me. I'm like, for what? He goes, you can't fly that here. I said, what? Why? He goes, because I said so. I'm like, no, you're not my daddy. I'm sorry. That doesn't work like that. It's not because you said so. Right? You got to give me a legal, lawful reason why I can't fly a drone out here. Right? He goes, because that's the rules. I'm like, what rule? What rule? How am I obligated to that rule? Turns out he didn't know this, but what it turned out was that it had something to do with the because of how close I was to an airport. But he didn't even know. He just said that's the rules. You can't do that. I'm like, make it make sense, bro.
So
Well,
what
depending on
sensitive
the drone,
areas?
depending on the drone, most of the time you have to literally. It's almost like you got to register it. Before you can even get it up in the air for the thing. It's on some kind of it like won't even move until you register it with your name, your phone number. Now, obviously, people aren't going to put their real names and phone numbers and stuff like that. But the drone that I had was a beast. It had a 6 mile range, and I literally there's certain areas I couldn't even fly it. I'd have to drive out to get out into the areas where there was no metropolitan. So something that big, it's a military operation.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, I watched the Sean Ryan podcast this morning and went home and loaded every piece of ammo I could find in my gun. I'm telling you, this girl, Sarah Adams, scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. All right, so this is an aircraft. Any civil, military, or public contrivance invented, used, or designed to navigate, fly, or travel in the air. So drones fall under aircraft. All right. And they get really crazy about this whole freaking flying in the air thing. It's even crazier than driving a car, right?
What areas did you say that those drones were, Joe?
Jersey.
Yeah,
Right, but the only thing I know of that's sensitive material or areas in Jersey is Earl. So if they weren't in Central Jersey, I'm curious what sensitive areas were in.
that area was shut down, by the way. That's that place. That's no longer active. That whole thing.
Yeah, okay. Neither's Area 51.
I know. I'm just saying officially that military base has been closed down. Maybe not Earl. I'm thinking of the other one, the Monmouth County one.
Fort Monmouth is what you're
Fort
thinking.
Monmouth. Yeah, Fort Monmouth.
So does this
Closed
mean
down.
our drones jailbroke or what?
Does that mean what?
We need to have our drones jailbroke to fly them?
Now, it depends on the area that
I'm
you're
not
in.
saying. I'm not telling you to do anything. If you want to jailbreak your drone, that's your call. I got nothing to do with that. But if you want to do that, more power to you. I don't see why anyone can tell you what you can and can't do with your private property.
The fact that you have to have a disclaimer about that is what is wrong with this country.
Bingo. Thank you. Exactly. You have to disclaimer everything because these ultra sensitive social media platforms like TikTok and YouTube and Facebook go, oh, and then you get these ultra sensitive agencies that go, he doesn't like our rules. Here, by the way, you want to see agency rulemaking? Here it is. These are all of them. Okay, aeronauts. Oh, okay, aeronauts in space. I should have been looking in the CFRs, dude.
The way that I like to describe it is they're like 10-ply toilet paper, super soft.
There you go. Yeah, but and this is the problem because you see all this stuff like here. Let's pick one. Let's do let's do employee benefits. And we're just going to click on some random code here, okay? And we'll just click on here and click on here. Okay. Now look at where this comes from. All right, I'll point this out. If you look at if you look at a U.S. code, okay?
Tomorrow and the next day.
Exactly.
That's all I have.
That's all she has. Come on, man. Didn't you hear her the first time? No, okay.
I know, right?
I'm just making cracks. But all right, so let's look at this. Like here, I'm just picking a random code, and I want to show you guys. If you look, right, they give you the origin of this. It comes from public law, okay, and and it's in the statutes at large, right there. It tells you exactly where to find it.
Joe is saying cracks is in jokes, not drugs.
Thank you.
Oh, for some reason, it
But
says it's muted, but it's not. So, can you mute me, Joe, please? I'm sorry.
yeah, no problem.
I got you, Joe.
Thanks. Wait, can I add you on? No. All right. Anyways, now if we go to Code of Federal Regulations and we look at the origin, where'd it come from? Someone just made this up. Someone just made this up. Like, here's what we're gonna do. Who came up with this? Where's the origin of this? There is none. Right?
Okay, okay. Listen to what you just said. Everything is made up, Joe.
Well, hold on. No, okay, hold on. Let me show you something. This is important. Okay, and this is what needs to be understood by people. Okay, when we talk about laws, okay, I'm going to go to Black Laws Dictionary, whichever one I find first, and we're going to pull that up. All right, it's 9th edition. I don't care. Okay, we're going to go to enacting. Enactment, the action or process of making into law, enactment of a legislative bill, a statute, a recent enactment. So they're telling you here that you can enact. An enactment would be enacting or the process of putting something into law, right? So that means there has to be a process, right? You don't just make a law. All right. And then you have enabling clause. Oh, it says C clause, enabling act, enacting law, enacting clause. All right, so we have to go to clause to finish this up. But we have enabling clause, right? Enabling statute, all right? Enabling law, enabling enacting law, and we're going to go to clause. So we're going to come up to clause. I wish you could just type in the words and it would just come up. Can someone do that? Does someone have the ability to like fix these law dictionaries so that way the only words that are searchable are the words that are being defined and not any words in the definition? If someone can do that, I'll pay you for that. I mean, it's worth it. It'll save so much freaking time. Clause.
I've noticed that too, and it's so annoying.
Yeah. So if there's anybody out there, I need a hero. All right, clause. So here's all our clauses. All right. And by the way, they didn't define the Santa Claus in here either. So Ben get really upset now. All right. All right. So we have an enabling clause. The part of a statute or constitution that gives the governmental officials the power and authority to put the law into effect and enforce it. That's an enabling clause. Okay. Now, I'm gonna give you guys an example of that because there's one in the U.S. Constitution and then there's one in your state constitution. That's an enabling clause. It says that the state or the federal government has to use this clause in order to enact a law, right? And now an enacting clause is the part of a statute stating the legislative authority by which it is made and often the date when it will take effect. Okay? A typical enacting clause begins with the word "be it enacted." All right, the enacting clause of a federal statute is "be it enacted by the House and the Senate and House Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled." If you see that phrase before a law, then it's law, okay? Because they need to have the legislative authority, right? And that's it. That's how that works. So if there's no legislative authority, then it doesn't come from the enabled law, which is the Constitution. The Constitution is the only enabled law. Okay, everything else is enacted law. So all the public laws, all the statutes at large, those are all enacted law. Okay, but they have to stem from the enabled law. Okay, so you have your Constitution, that's the enabled law. The enacted law has to reflect the Constitution and cannot violate its provisions. Okay, once it does that, that enacted law is garbage, it's void. Okay, some state constitutions specify the enacting clause for legislation, without which the legislation is void. And there you have it. This is where all the bar attorneys tell you that the statutes or the codes of the state or law, you go, where in the freaking world, right? Thanks, Billy. Where in the freaking world is that enacting clause for the legislation? Can you provide it? And they can't. And then that's it. It's done. They go, you violated this statute, statute 1-237. And you go, okay, well, I'm looking at that statute. Where's the enacting clause for this legislation here? Oh, we don't need that. Well, no, you do, because without it, it's void. That's how it is. Sorry. None of the codes or statutes in any of the states have any enacting clause on them. So what does that mean? The legislation is void. So that means that if they want to actually go after you for a violation of a law, they're going to have to go find the actual enacting clause, right? That shows that this is a legitimate law that they can go after you for. Okay. Now these code of federal regulations, and this is why, I've seen companies, I've had people come to me who have companies, and their companies are getting attacked by these federal agencies off of the CFRs.
What's exordium?
Huh?
Exordium.
What do you mean?
Introductory clause.
Oh, well, it's just another term for that, introductory clause. So that's just something introducing like another clause for something. Like if they're
I've just never heard that word before.
See exordium. Oh, we'll pull it up. Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, let's go to that real quick. But not to lose what I'm talking about. Did I lose it? Oh no, it's up here.
EXO.
Should be right here. What in the freaking world? Exordium. Oh, here it is. All right. An introduction in a discourse of writing, especially in a will, right? Contains the statements of the testor's name and capacity to make the will. All right. So he's just setting up the fact that he's the testor is the one that's dying. Here's all my shit. This is my stuff. This is what I want. All right. So back to our clause thing. So the clause, right? Our I got to go back to clause. So we can see that the enabling clause and the enacting clause has to be there. Okay. We'll go back to our codes of federal regulations now. All right. So we're going to go back to here. Now, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to have a little bit of fun for a minute here. We're going to go to this US code. Okay. Now, look, there's no enacting clause here either. So the US code is not actually law. Okay. It's just codified into here just to kind of put it into a book, right? So that way it's organized is really what they're saying. But if we go to this 114 stat 2763, which we can go to from right here, it's going to pull it up and we're going to get the actual act that it comes from. And we're going to find out how much of this here has been altered for this. Now, if it's not altered at all, then it would be called positive law. Non-positive law means that it's been altered. Okay, there's a difference. So they kind of change things around when they put it into the codes, and they say, well, we're going to change this, we're going to change that. Well, it's not positive law. Okay, it still applies, but it only applies in certain circumstances. But the statute would be the right and correct way to do something. Mary, if you want to come up, you're gonna have to join Zoom. All right, you can't. I'm not adding anyone on TikTok because we're streaming on YouTube. All right, so come to YouTube, join on there. You can jump in on the live, but please don't derail me from the conversation I'm having at the moment. Right.
While you're looking this up, I don't normally advocate, but the link that was put in by Bill for the Sean Ryan podcast, Man, that thing's making me want to have a bug out bag. Just be ready just in case stuff goes down.
Yeah, by the way, don't share all this stuff unless you know it's factual. Go look up those court cases. I see people sharing these things, and I must have made like 8 TikToks over one court case that people kept telling me I was wrong about. And they were like, "You're using case text. That's your problem." I'm like, "I'm reading the actual. This is the actual court case. You can actually use case text, that website, to as evidence of case law, statutes, real laws." So now here we have it. It says, "Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled." Well, there you go. So that means that this is actual law, right? And it's called public law. It's public law. All right. Now here, now here's the thing. You can always test this for its constitutionality. Okay, everything is up for debate and on its constitutionality. So if you can prove that this is unconstitutional, they have to get rid of it. They have to repeal it. Okay, so they have to do a formal repeal of this. See, look, they tell you right here that this became right here 1 U.S. Code 112. In publishing this act, United States at large, pursuant to 112 of Title 1 United States Code, the archivists of the shall include the dates and provisions of this acted. All right. Yeah. Anyway, where's this one here? It says findings and purpose. It is 2763. 2763. Oh, it should be right here. Maybe not. Says 1922, Title 1. Okay. Oh, 383. Okay. So we got to go to the 383 now. So we got 3. See, it's 1. So we got a lot of going. We got a lot to go to. 383. And we're going to find out if this was properly enacted. Okay. Come on. 353. We're almost there. Okay. And then, by the way, you guys, I hope you realize that I'm showing you how to find real law. Okay. All right. So now, findings and purpose. There we go. But wait a second. Where's the enacting clause? I don't see it here. Is it up here maybe? It's got to be up here. Uh-oh. There's no enacting clause? It's void. Yeah. I don't see one. They might have it all the way at the beginning, because sometimes they'll say also being enacted, and then they'll just go into the spiel. But these are all definitions, so we're close to the beginning of that. There it is. Nope. Oh, here it is. The purposes. All right, here we go. This is it. Oh, shit. Look at that. It was never enacted. This is not law, people. I found one. Look at that. Wait, unless it says something.
So if it was not enacted, is it still a clause?
No, there's no enacting clause, so it's void as law. Unless this goes
So
before.
then what's it defined at if it was created and never enacted?
It's just bullshit.
Is it like a statute or?
Well, it's in the statutes at large, so it would be evidence of law, but it's void. So this
So it's
right
not
here,
usable.
that's right. You can't use it. Commodity exchanges, this has no power. But you guys can see that it does have some kind of. Now let's look at the CFRs. Okay, we're just picking a random CFR. All right, let's pick a different one. I don't want to do that one. Let's go to Aliens and Nationality, Department of Homeland Security, Nationality Regulations, Nationals and Citizens of the United States at Birth, Procedures. All right, procedures. Look at this, Federal Registry. What? So this is the Federal Registry. It's not. That means it was. Here. See, it was put into the Federal Register. It was never enacted into law, which means that this Code of Federal Regulations right here, okay, is not law. Okay, this is agency rulemaking. They put it in here July 25th, 1997. It was amended June 5th, 2009. Then again, August 29th, 2011. And then it was amended again August 3rd, 2020. All from the Federal Register, okay, which is right here. And that means that it was never passed by the legislation. This was passed by people who work in the damn agencies. Okay? That's called agency lawmaking, also known as the deep state. Okay? That's right. It never became law. It never reached the stage of becoming a law. So it has no legal effect. So, and this is what I did with a guy. There was one guy who was getting harassed by a federal agency over his business, and they were citing all these CFRs. And I said, well, that's really interesting. Your CFRs actually have no authority because there's no enacting clause. Can you please provide an enacting clause where the actual legislation section of the government actually pushed this into legislation? And then he never heard from him again. Well, there you go. There's your solution. They fucking left. They said, well, shit, we can't do that. So that means they got nothing. They have no authority now because it was unenforceable. Thank you, Supremacy. We got some good solid people here on TikTok. Which sorry I'm ignoring you, but I'm trying not to. But there you go. All right, so we got that cleared up, right? No enacting clause, right? Which means that there's nothing there, and only can Congress and the legislation pass laws, right? That's their job. But an agency making all their rules, like the ATF, right? They make all these rules, and there's no legislation there. They just make these rules and then say, "Oh, you violated this Code of Federal Regulations. You violated this Code of Federal Regulations. You violated this Code of Federal Regulations." Like, I'm sorry.
What are God's laws?
That would be the Bible.
Because if you look at that screenshot in the chat, it says near the bottom, it says in accordance with God's laws.
See, okay, I'm going to point this out. This is one of those things I was warning you guys about. You got to read.
That's why I was asking.
Read this shit before you share this shit, because this is what garbage is. Okay, you see where it says U.S. Supreme Court decision: all codes, rules, and regulations are for government authorities and not human creators in accordance with God's laws. All codes, rules, and regulations are unconstitutional and lacking due process. While that may be true, this Rodriguez versus Ray Donovan, I've debunked this. This is not a valid quote from that court case at all. Do not share these types of things unless you yourself have gone through it and found it to be true. This is a debunked, and I've had arguments with people who can't read case law telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about. And if you want, I'll pull up the Ray Donovan's case right now. Let's do it.
Well, no, I was just asking because I've never seen the term God's laws.
I want to pull it up because it's a problem. It's been a big problem. And this case, people cite it over and over again. There was a guy on TikTok who was like, read your case law, and then read that case law. He read that exact quote. And I go, dude, what the hell are you talking about? It doesn't say that in there. Right? And he just kept going.
So what was copied and pasted is fabricated.
Yes, 100%. All right, so so what happened was someone misquoted that. They submitted that into the Supreme Court under writ of certiorari, and so it's sitting in the Supreme Court under someone's writ of certiorari. People are citing that. See, it says it in there. Read the freaking case. Don't read somebody's error on the case, because the writ of certiorari is just you petitioning to the Supreme Court to get your case looked at. And he cited that incorrect quote in his. And this is some man doing that. He incorrectly cited that because he got it off the internet from someone and didn't back it up. But here, let's type in, we're going to do code. Let's just type in the word code. The word code never shows up in this case law at all. Let's type in the word God. Let's type in God. Well, God doesn't show up in here at all. Let's type in unconstitutional, and there's one. Although a mere allegation of constitutional violation would not be sufficient to avoid the effect of a statutory finality provision, okay, the record before us indicates that Rodriguez may have cognizable due process claims. Rodriguez does not make a facial attack on the constitutionality of the FECA procedures themselves, but instead asserts that the procedures are unconstitutional as applied to him. Given the Secretary's failure to provide a hearing after the suspension of benefits, despite Rodriguez's request for one, and the Secretary's considerable delay in deciding Rodriguez's claim, we do not find the due process challenges insubstantial. Okay? That's the only time it's ever mentioned in here is unconstitutional, right? It's just the one time. This is the whole case. Okay? It does not say that in here. Okay, we conclude that the district court had jurisdiction over Rodriguez's actions. We remand to the district court to allow it to consider whether to exercise that jurisdiction or to require exhaustion or to fashion such other reliefs as be made. He's just trying to get his benefits, right? He wasn't getting them. He sued to get them, right? The reinstatement of benefits. That's what this was about. But you see, and that's my point. This is the stuff that is a problem all over the place because people argue, like people make these stupid arguments using these things, and then I go and show them what it's actually written, and then they go and argue saying I'm wrong. I'm like, I'm sorry, but go ahead
Okay,
and find
so
the court case.
maybe your word usage is wrong. Maybe they're not stupid arguments. Maybe people are, like you said, just misinformed. So maybe calling it stupid's not the best thing, but
No,
people shouldn't just quote it and say that that's how it is.
People are lazy.
That's true.
They get these things and then they're lazy about it. They don't go and actually do the research. Now we're going to look at this next one. So, all right. So here's what we're going to do.
It is kind of stupid because if you're going to go and repost something, before you repost it, you need to do your due diligence and make sure what you're posting is factual. It's pure negligence on your part. So it makes you look stupid.
Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying, and that's exactly why I do what I do, is because there's so much false information going around. It's just crazy. And here's what we're going to do. As we go through this, we're going to go through each one of these on this document, and as we find one that is not working, if we find it that doesn't work, then what we're going to do is we're going to exit like this. We're going to make a big X. No good. Bad case law. Okay, that's fair. I think that's fair. Let's do it like that. All right, so now this one says here, the common law is the real law, the supreme law of the land. The codes, rules, regulations, policy, and statutes are not. That's this case right here. So let's take a look at this case, and let's type in code. It's just one word. Okay, code. Okay.
So is any of it accurate or is it all wrong?
We're going to find out right now. This is exactly what I do to go find out if these quotes are real or not. Okay. Sometimes, by the way, just because these quotes are wrong doesn't mean that the case law is not usable, because there could be stuff in there that you could actually use for your particular court case. So that does happen. I've read some of these court cases and I couldn't find that quote that people were quoting from it, but I would find other quotes and go, holy shit, why don't we use this? Why are people misquoting this thing? This is a great, we can use this. Look at what this justice said here. Oh my God, this is important. And I think it's what they're doing is sidelining these court cases that actually have valuable information in there. All right, so we're looking for the common law. Let's type in common. No word common. All right, let's type in statutes. Okay, 4 judges expressed the opinion that the original code committee created laws. Okay, see, look, created by laws of 1940, chapter 1. See, that's actual state law. See what they're citing right there? They're not citing a statute. They're citing, has produced 2 volumes of compilation of laws, which the legislator adopted by reference only as prima facie compilation. Oh, of the state statute law in laws of 1950. You see, they're telling you that the statutes are prima facie. It's on its face evidence of law, but once you dig into it, it's not, because it doesn't have enacting clauses. All right, but that's a quote you could use. It's not the quote that's on here. Let's see if we can find it. Maybe it is in here. No compelling illiteracy can consider prior statute. Okay, nothing there. We have already described several legislative. None of them contained divided sections. Okay. All right. What else we got? No. Where'd it go? Statutes. Oh, see American jurisprudence statutes. Okay, petitioner's brief states the question: if a statute mandatory its face, in fact, as prior legislation, where it purports to amend a section of a code compilation makes no reference to the legislative act sought to be amended and requires preference. So this is a good assertion here. He's asking, like, if this, if a statute is supposed to be part of a section of a code and doesn't refer the legislative act, right? Is it still valid? Well, that's a good point, right? So this could be a good case to study, but not in the way that yeah, it's not here. But that case, that quote is not in here. Sorry, people. And then never mentions common law. All right. So yeah, now we have another bad. That one doesn't work. That doesn't mean that you can't use the case, because I think this would be a good case to utilize to understand how the statutes work and what they're doing here. Okay, statute. The written will of the legislature is solely expressed according to the forms prescribed in the Constitution Act of. So we'll leave that one now. A concurrent or joint resolution of legislator is not law. So we're going to go to this one now. And we're going to check out this one. Ward versus state. And see, this is what they did. Now they just blended these. So it probably came from this Todd one originally. But we have to check them all now. See what they're doing? All right. A concurrent. Let's type in joint. Go ahead, Ben. You can laugh.
I'm an adult, Joe.
So? Okay. All right, guys. I do appreciate you guys coming on the Zoom, but just make sure if you're not actively talking or in the conversation, to stay muted. All right, held at a joint resolution. So what does it say? A concurrent is not law. Force and effect of joint resolution when law, as law when passed. A joint resolution passed by the Constitution has the force and effect of a valid legislative enactment when all other constitutional requirements are observed. Okay, so we're kind of getting into something here. This is a little bit closer. Let's see. Same states validity of joint resolution. A joint resolution of one. Okay. It would seem that a joint resolution passed in the manner and form of one here considered may have the force and effect of law and therefore is equivalent to a legislative enactment within the above expressed rule. All right. In the Ryan case, we have said that the Constitution specifically recognizes a joint resolution as law. So look at that. So it's actually saying the opposite here. All right. Okay. Neither bill nor joint resolution shall become law unless presented to the governor for approval or rejection. Okay, that's the provision of the Constitution there, but that's a state constitution provision. It's probably the same in most states. I think most states, when you do a bill or a joint resolution, it works as the same as the federal Constitution. Now let's see. First agreed, therefore, a joint resolution has been duly passed by both branches of the legislature, signed by the presiding officer of each governor. Okay, so they're saying that, yeah, that would be law in that case. What's this? The case of ample authority. Okay, so not necessarily saying that. Yeah, so they're holding to that Ryan case where they say a joint resolution is law. I did not even say that. That was nice. All right. That's it. That's the last one. Defendant makes the further contention that the joint resolution in the present case is a legislative act. It is a special or local law within the meaning of Section 32, Article 5, Constitution, and void for the same reason that the same was not published as required by said section. Because they didn't publish it. He might have an argument there. All right, but we didn't find that in that one. We're going to check this one and see if it's in here. Okay, instead. So we'll check this one. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go to joint. No, it doesn't say that. It's definitely not in that one. All right. State, Todd, okay. So we got to check all these case laws just to find out where if that quote exists. Joint's not even in here. Let's type in concurrent. No, not in there. All right, so this is another one that's no good. All right, see what we got to watch out for, people. This one's no good. And like I said, just because that quote is no good doesn't mean that the case law may not be good. A code is not a law. I think we already saw that. A statute is not a law. All right, let's take a look at that one. I remember looking this up. I don't think I saw it in there either. By the way, just to be real with people, I don't think there'll ever be a judge that will ever say that a statute is not a law. I really doubt any of them will ever say that. Let's type in statute. Come on. A statute is not a law. All right. It is well settled that a statute may be valid in part and invalid in part, and that the invalid part may be disregarded altogether, and that the other part constitute a valid statute, if the two parts are not so intimately connected as to raise the presumption that the legislator would not have enacted the one without the other. Okay, you see, so they're saying something similar here. They're saying that if a statute is valid in one part and invalid in one part, if they're not closely connected, the invalid part you can forget about, okay? But the valid part you'd have to pay attention to. But if they are intertwined, interconnected, then you can't enforce either side of it, okay? So that's how that works, okay? But that's what they're saying. So that would actually be a better quote than this. Although we can still find if that quote's in here. There is nothing contained in the statute that could point to raising presumptions. Okay, no. Implied in the statute. The new matter urged here, the defendant on this court is previously deciding holding the statute unconstitutional does not in any way change the situation as presented in the... Okay. While the statute may be unconstitutional as legal efficacy and validity until it was held unconstitutional by the court. Okay, so you see, a statute may be unconstitutional, but it will hold legal efficiency and validity, efficacy and validity until it's held unconstitutional by the court. Okay, so you have to bring it into court and make it unconstitutional in order for it to be unconstitutional. But anyone can make the claim. Everyone has the right to make it a claim that it's unconstitutional. Everyone. Okay, you just bring it to court, right? Violate that statute that you feel is unconstitutional, get in trouble for it, sue the state and federal court. Okay, they're going to take you to court. The state will take you to court, say, blah, 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 this and that. You broke this statute. You say, well, I think the statute's unconstitutional. Sir, that's not for us to debate. And they're fucking right. It's not up for them to debate. You take it to federal court, get the federal court to tell the state to knock it off. That's unconstitutional. Okay, then that's how you fix those things. Okay, everyone says you fix things by voting. No, you don't. I've never seen voting fix a fucking thing. I hope maybe that'll change. I don't know. Well, I doubt it. But have you checked out Lane Myers yet? He had 10 cases dismissed against him in 2 weeks. That's pretty good. I don't know who that is, Lane Myers, but that's pretty awesome. All right. Let's see. Property tax legal. Okay. Oh, he's talking about property taxes. Because the statute being constitutional was void ab initio, and the act. Oh yeah, look at that. I see what he's doing. All right, that's cool. The Supreme Court of the United States stated that an unconstitutional statute is no law. Okay, so look, you see what they did. There is a quote in here that does say that, but it's not word for word. It says, in the case of Norton versus Shelby County, page 1, the Supreme Court of the United States stated that an unconstitutional statute is no law. See what they did here? And you see how people manipulate these things? A statute is not a law. No, it says that an unconstitutional statute is no law. Okay? And that's not even from this case. It's from another case. Okay. So it is always unconstitutional, and that the judgment of the court declaring it so is simply judicial recognition that the legislator had transcended the provisions of the Constitution. All right. An and this is the actual from this Shorby versus Norton versus Shelby County. An unconstitutional act is not a law. It confers no rights. It imposes no duties. It affords no protection. It creates no office. It is in legal contemplation as inoperative as though it had never been passed. Now that is a quote to take. And it doesn't come from this Flory versus First National Bank. It comes from this Norton versus Shelby. Okay? Now we got a good one. Let's find that quote in here. Unconstitutional. Oh, I love it. How awesome is that? And we're gonna do it right here. I'm gonna actually keep this one and copy with the citation. Why? Because I do my homework and I'm allowed to keep all my research, right? Aren't we all? Do your research, keep it. That's a good one. I love that. That's great. Okay, I kept it. All right, but you see that? Now, if you want to cite that, it comes from Norby versus Shelby County. Okay, and it says right in here, an unconstitutional act is not a law. It confers no rights, it imposes no duties, it affords no protection, it creates no office. It is in legal contemplation as inoperative as though it had never been passed. Okay, now we got that from this bad case law here because this quote is wrong. Okay, but it did lead us to something very good. Yes, I always cite the information at the bottom. It's the memorandum of law. So I'll put it two ways. Sometimes I'll just put a little like a subscript and then number it and then put it in like that, or I'll do it where I just make a memorandum of law at the end, depending on how lazy I'm feeling. All right, so you guys see how this works? Oh, let's look at the statute, Black Laws 4th edition. All right, we'll go to that now. Black Laws 4th edition, definition of statute. All right, that's fair. We got to do that one too. Got to statute. Sounds like making coffee or something. Make me some coffee too, please. Thank you. All right, so now what we're going to do, we got our Black Laws 4th edition, and we have this word statute. Now let's find statute. Let's see if that's in here. I bet that is, because that's one that people will go and just look and make up. So that one's probably right. It sounds correct. Statute. The written will of the legislator solemnly expressed according to the forms necessary to constitute it the law of the state. They're talking about the enacting clause, make sure that it was the legislation that did it. It's off. It's not word for word. It's not exact. Okay, so we're gonna go. We're gonna do like a. Oh, we're gonna do like a little x, because it's not 100% wrong. Okay, but it isn't. And this one's just wrong. All right, but it's not 100% right. So it's not word for word out of here what it says, but it is pretty close. All right, so now see what we just did. We got this nice little thing someone shared, and I'm very glad that you shared it, because now we can look at all these case law and say, this, don't share this document anymore. Okay, and we don't want to share it because why? Because it's not correct. Okay, can we go through those court cases and find something that's valuable? Absolutely, we did. We found a really valuable one in here, but not all of this stuff is true, correct, or accurate, so it's unusable. All right, so I hope we got that cleared up. All right, but thank you to the don't be like, I'm not going to upload anything, but just realize that, do your own research on those things. They're citing a case, go look up the case and see if it's on there. Okay, and that will settle the matter, right? But that Ray Donovan case, right? Like there was some guy going flippant. He was like flipping out, not flipping. He was flipping out about it. He's like, he read that quote word for word, right? And then said, read your case law. Boom. And I was like, that's wrong. Like, that case law is just wrong. That's a wrong quote. The guy telling you to go do your research and do your due diligence didn't do his research or due diligence. Like, it's just stupid. You never listen to someone who doesn't back up their shit. Okay. So look what we just did. One of those, one of those Patriot, documents that people just share around. Look what this says. Check this out. Well, we just debunked the whole thing right here live on TikTok and YouTube. So, if you ever see anyone sharing those quotes, go ahead and send them this video. All right. But it's important, people. You got to know how to do your homework and do your research. Yeah, got it on Instagram. That's all right. But look what it did. We did find a really valuable court case. All right. And those other court cases could have some value to them. Okay. But now we know. Okay. That one about the joint resolution thing, they were very specific about it. So we learned something from that incorrect court case, is that a joint resolution is valid as long as, according to the state constitution or the federal constitution, that's enacted properly. Okay, and that it's not a violation of the Constitution. Okay. Yeah, I'm on YouTube, by the way. It's Joe Lustica. It's just my name, Joe Lustica. And then if you want to join on the Zoom call, the Zoom link is pinned in the Zoom or in my Telegram. If you're my Telegram channel, it's on there too. All right. So everyone's welcome to be in here and join in. So, all right, we got that out of the way. Now what? That's it. Everyone's done now. After all that.
Once you tell them how it goes down, they all just go.
Yeah, people go crazy over these little documents, and look what we just put in the shredder.
No, I'm here. I'm just listening.
Yeah. No, but I'm glad that you shared it. I appreciate that, because it's stuff like that gets us into these real, like, let's find the truth, right?
But so House Joint Resolution 192 actually became a law 7310, right?
It's Public Law 73-10, yeah.
You know what I found was really good reading was the validity of Accepted for Value by Douglas Riddle.
Okay.
That was a really good document. Have you ever seen that?
What was it called?
It's called The Validity of accepted for value. You can Google it and come up. It's just a PDF. Yeah. It looks like this.
Okay.
That's the front cover. The guy really broke down A for V.
No, that's not it. Where is it? There's another one. General.
So did you find anything interesting in the chat now that you know how to save the chat on Zoom?
No, I didn't look.
Oh, okay. It saves it to a folder on your computer.
Giuseppe, why don't you unmute and tell people about your tax per Q success? That's awesome.
Sure. Yeah, I just literally got it in the mail today. My buddy from the next town over, we've been kind of diligently studying this stuff and following your videos and everything. And basically, he sent it to me and I sent one to him. I'm not sure if mine landed with him yet, but I just got his in the mail today. It made me so happy I could have cried, you know.
I told you they work.
It's amazing, man. It's so freaking cool when you can actually see the proof for yourself in real time with your real friend, you know, and yeah, just it's really cool. He wrote me a nice letter, so yeah. But yeah, we put our rural free deliveries on them each, you know, so he listed his and everything, you know, town, state, all written out full, non-domestic. I'm trying to find it right now. I can't.
I'll tell you something funny. So we have a woman in the Zoom meeting here who was a postmaster for how many years?
17 and a half years. I was a letter carrier for 13 and a half years and a supervisor for over 9 months.
All right, so we got a long reigning postmaster here. All right, so always
That's
appreciate when you come on, really. So, so the tax per Q, you want to say anything about that?
The USPS says it's sovereign citizen crap, and they either throw it away. And I said, you can't throw it away. You need to return it postage due if you're not going to let it go where it's supposed to go. But it's right in the IMM, International Mail Manual. I think it's what, $6.45 on international mail without postage.
Yeah. But it's in the UPU as prepaid, because mine always goes through.
Yeah.
And so does Giuseppe's.
I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't have any trouble with it. I was also kind of halfway wanting to maybe have some difficulties with it, you know.
Damn it! I was looking for a fight.
But yeah, I can show. I mean, it's basically like what you have, but I can kind of show. Hopefully, in my video, right there, you can kind of see the.
Yeah, I see
seal
it.
we put on it, and it says prepaid kind of behind it, you know. So.
Yeah, postage prepaid.
Is it marked anywhere first class, international mail?
No.
Okay.
No, it just says what's on the video here in the.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I will show you. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I wanted to go over that public law thing that was brought up before. So I do want to do that because someone brought that up. I said that would be something to go over. We probably have to go to U.S. House. Okay. And so we have our codes. Okay. And the money one, there is one that kind of leads us into that Public Law 73-10. Okay. I thought it was under money, but maybe it's under financial management. Public debt. No, down there. But that's all right. We're at the right website. We'll just go here. Okay, statutes at large, kapow, and look at this. We have all this every year of the statutes at large. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to 1933. Okay, and we're going to take a look at 48. Nope, that's not the right one. We're going to take a look at 48 here. And here we go. Okay. Because there's two 48. All right. One's from the 72nd Congress and one's from the 73rd. Okay, now, this is our joint oh, no, that's the wrong one. All right. Now, notice on this joint resolution, what's it say here? Resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled. Right? That's that joint resolution. That's chapter 47. I know someone's thinking, well, what about the next one? The next one is right here, joint resolution to assure uniform value to the coins and currencies of the United States. Now, don't worry, there is a resolving clause in here that we can use, okay? Which validates its legitimacy as law. But it says that whereas the holding of dealing in gold affect the public interest and therefore subject to proper regulation and restriction, an existing emergency. I found a case law on this, by the way. I'm going to make a video about it on Rumble before I talk about it. Here, I'm going to put it up on Rumble first, do a very thorough video because that is a big case. And it talks about this emergency thing here that they're using. Right? And it says, where the existing emergency, which was the Depression, has disclosed that provisions of the obligation would purport to give the obligator right to require payment in gold or a particular kind of coin or currency of the United States or an amount of money of the United States, measured thereby, obstruct the power of Congress to regulate the value of money of the United States. Really? So saying, hey, I want to get paid in this, Congress goes, hey, wait a second, we can't regulate that value. All right, and are inconsistent with the declared policy of Congress to maintain at all times the equal power of every dollar coined or issued by the United States. Now, therefore, be it. Now, they always say 112 because that's the page that starts on, right? But look, here it is. Resolved. There it is. Resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled. So, where's Ben? That was that little introductory clause, okay? What he was asking about earlier. This whole thing is an introductory clause. And they call it June 5th, 1933 House Joint Resolution 192. Okay. Now we get to hear it's resolved. Every provision contained in or made with respect to any obligation which purports to give the obligator right to require payment in gold, right, or any other kind of currency, is declared to be against public policy. So that is the most unconstitutional thing on this page, is that right there. Okay? Because what they just said is that the obligee has a right to require payment in gold is now against public policy, and no such provision shall be contained or made in with respect to any obligation hereafter incurred. Every obligation heretofore hereafter incurred, whether or not any such provision is contained therein, or made with respect thereto, shall be discharged. Okay? People asking about discharging, this is it right here. Shall be discharged upon payment, dollar for dollar, in any coin or currency, which at the time of payment is legal tender for public and private debts.
Joe, what is this stat again? This is 48 stat what? Sorry?
This is 48 stat 40, it's the 48th Congress, 48 stat 112 and 113. I mean, it's considered 112 because that's where it started. It starts on page 112, but it continues onto page 113.
Cool.
Now, this is a big deal. Now it says, as used in this resolution, the term obligation means an obligation, including every obligation of and to the United States accepting currency. What is that telling you right there? That means that you can use anything under what? Anything that's a U.S. obligation. What's a U.S. obligation? Anyone know? Anyone know the answer? Nobody? Come on, someone's got to know the answer.
Ooh, I do, because I watched this on your other video.
All right, that means you can discharge it with a bond, a certificate of indebtedness, national bank currency, Federal Reserve notes, Federal Reserve bank notes, coupons, United States notes, Treasury notes, gold certificates, silver certificates, fractional notes, certificates of deposit, bills, checks, or drafts for money drawn upon authorized officers of the United States, stamps, and other representatives of value of whatever denomination issued under any act of Congress and canceled United States stamps. And there you have it. Those are all the things that you can use to discharge debts with. There's your list. Okay.
And canceled United States stamps. Keep all those canceled stamps. They are still a negotiable instrument.
Money, 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 money. Please mail me something.
How would we go?
Use the tax per queue with me. I need to discharge some debts. Can you write me a letter?
How does one go about using canceled stamps? What's up with that? How's that work?
Okay, let's see.
I guess you would tape them to a piece of paper and add up the denomination and then sign it at the bottom without recourse or with prejudice. Or how would you sign that so that you can get all of the canceled stamps on one piece of paper, Joe?
Well, you could just tape them on or glue them on. All right. Or what you do is you just buy some stamps, stick them on the page, and then cancel them yourself with your own signature. Right. I was going to make an example.
Let's not forget, guys, all the green cards you send too. Those are money. Could be up to $30,000.
There you go.
What?
Huh?
Yes, every green card you send and get back, save them. They can go broker with a brokerage account. They are bonds.
There you go. All right, people, go to Fidelity and go open a broker account. That's news to me. I never heard that one before, but I'm going to show you. Yeah, it's the 3811 form. If that's what you're. These. I'm talking about these, YouTube. If you can see me, this is what he's talking about. Yeah, it makes sense because it has the barcode on there and stuff. It has two barcodes on there, really. So, it's a security, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I got a handful of those things for sure.
Yeah, I got a bunch that already been sent back, too. I got a whole freaking drawer full of them. A whole drawer. All right, that's awesome. I love that. That's great. Thank you for that little tidbit.
So for that, we would need a broker, or we would become our own broker.
No, you get a broker, and then you deposit into your brokerage account.
Great.
That was a statute at large. TikTok. I'm telling TikTok. But yeah, so now, but that's it. That's all there is to discharging debts. I mean, look, let's be real. Okay. It sounds very simple, and technically it is very simple. What makes it hard is the companies that don't want to do it. Okay. And that's the problem. All right. That is the issue.
Hey, Joe, can you
Yeah.
hear me? I have tried the coupon payments on about 4 different places. So far, 2 of them have turned me over for collection, and the others are just kind of putting up with me. I was getting ready to send the IRS form for them, you know.
No receipt?
And the fee schedule. Beg pardon?
Oh.
Yeah, let him finish saying what he's saying first.
And I wanted to know how I could handle that. Plus, I got a statement for my property taxes on one of my homes, and it's like $1,600 and some dollars. Can I pay that with like you're talking about?
Um,
I mean, or discharge it? I mean,
I mean, you can try with the coupon. I don't know how the states or the county's going to react to the coupon for the property taxes, but if you want to try that, you can. Um, another thing,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're going to react. Some counties take it, some don't. So, you're just kind of rolling the dice on that one. The debt collectors take the coupons. If they don't, then just tell them that you're going to sue them uh, for fraud on the consumer credit transaction. And they're going to be like, whoa, we
yep,
got nothing to do with that. That's not ours. We were just buying the debt. Like, oh, you bought it. Okay, great. How much did you pay for it? They're not going to want to talk with you. All right. And then you said, well, I'm going to sue you guys anyway because you're harassing me and you're violating debt collection practices. Okay. Which is under Title
yeah.
15. And here, we'll just go
Well,
through.
one of them sent me a letter back and said that's not real money, and said we're not discharging this debt at all, and I wasn't discharging it all because I wanted to keep that credit card active, and but they closed the account.
They said
That was
that's not real money. What is real money? Can you give me a description of what real money is?
Gold and silver.
to me
Species of money?
right. No,
Exactly. Yeah, because they can't. They'll tell you Federal Reserve notes and go, really? Was that
yeah.
really? That's real money. Could you show me where in the Constitution that Federal Reserve notes are considered the only thing that can be used as a payment for a debt? We're not going to get into a legal. We're not going to get into a legal debate with you. Well, you already did because you told me I have to pay you. I don't even know who the hell you are, and you already start. You started it. You started this thing. I'm just going to end it. Tell me what legal lawful money is. Tell me how I'm supposed to pay a debt. Show me where it says in the Constitution how I'm supposed to pay a debt, and what am I supposed to be using per the Constitution. So, Congress has the right to make the laws. Yes, they do, but do they have a right to violate the Constitution when making laws? No, they don't. It doesn't matter if
Yeah.
there's emergency or not. They can't break the Constitution.
Hey,
debt
Joe,
collect-
I have a
What
question.
if
Yeah.
Can't we just send a 1099-C with an accepted on the bill to the IRS and let them deal with the matter?
You could do that. I don't know if it's going to get you anywhere, but you could do that.
like on the taxes? Can you just send them a postal money order for like $21 and discharge that tax?
You just take the coupon that the IRS sends you and endorse it and send it back as payment.
Plus, the companies I'm talking about kept my coupons. They didn't return them or anything like that. On the power company, they wouldn't accept it at all, and I didn't want to fight the battle right then. So from then on, I started scratching through the barcodes on the on the bill they sent, so that they couldn't double dip. They'd have to take my money.
So are you sending those to
You know?
the actual agency that the bill came from? Because
The power company did.
yeah, no, you don't ever send your coupons back to them because they're not going to accept it. If I were you, I'd throw a 2 cent, 10 cent stamp on that bill, accepted for payment, blah, 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 endorse the back of it and send it to 1111 Constitution Ave, Washington, D.C. And I can't mute again. I don't know what's going on, Joe, but
And make sure you sign through the stamp to cancel it.
Yes.
Beg your pardon. What did you say? Make sure you do what?
Sign through the stamp and then put above the stamp, put EST period 1933.
Look like this.
And it won't mute again. I don't know what the hell, Joe.
That's all right.
Do you sign those stamps? Sign through those with red ink or blue or?
You gotta use black ink.
Blank. Okay.
And then I don't know, put the date 1, 2, 24, whatever the date is. I don't know. And then you can say the town. New York, New York. Canceled. That's how the post office does it. Okay, they put their name on there, they put the date, and they put the location. And that's a negotiable
Yeah.
instrument, people. By the way, if you didn't know, negotiable instrument has the issuer, the date, right, and location. Ta-da! Stamps follow the laws of negotiable instruments. Who didn't know that? That's funny. Yeah, let's look at the laws of negotiable instruments. Where'd it go? Why'd this happen? Here, let's go here. UCC, Article 3. I'm just going through it. Look, negotiable instrument. Issue of instrument, right? What's the issue? The first delivery of the instrument. Okay. Unconditional promise or order. Payable on demand. Payable to bearer. Identification of person to whom instrument is payable. Place of payment. There's your date or location. Date of instrument. That's why when you sign the, like, look at the post office stamps. They put a date. It says post office, right? Then it says the location, and it has the date that it was stamped. So it's date stamped. It follows the same laws of negotiable instrument. So just learn from from observing. Observation is key because that shows you, all right, how they apply these things in here. Okay, date of instrument. An instrument may be antedated or postdated. The date stated determines the time of payment. If the instrument is payable at a fixed period after date. Okay. If an instrument is undated, its date is the date of its issue, or in the case of an unissued instrument, the date it first comes into possession of a holder. All right. But they always cancel the stamps because it's showing it got paid. That means it was paid. So you put a canceled stamp on a document, you're showing that you paid it. And who did you pay it to?
What?
You paid it to the United States, right? Because the United States is the one that issued those stamps. So that's who you paid. So the matter is now settled.
Any canceled postage stamp?
That's what it says. Right here.
I mean, it just old or new, it doesn't matter. You want one that's canceled, right?
Cancel the United States stamp. I mean, it says stamps, so you could do stamps, any stamp. But it's better to cancel it because then it shows it got paid. You cancel it. Now you're in control of that document.
Yeah, a new stamp, and you cancel it. You're making it be canceled.
Right.
Oh, okay. My goodness, I've been walking all over this stuff for years and didn't have a clue.
And I have a question too. Those negotiable instruments you sent to that company that they didn't send back, that is considered discharged when they accept it, right? Or am I wrong?
Right. Yeah.
Right here. He's
That's
right.
That's what Joe said.
All right. If tender of payment of an obligation to pay an instrument is made to a person entitled to enforce the instrument and the tender is refused, there is discharge to the extent of the amount of the tender. That's it. You say, well, I made an offer. I offered to pay. And you guys refused it, so it's discharged that amount.
And they cashed it in. So when you take them to court, I guarantee you they don't have it.
No. Well, I mean, we shredded it. That's right. And then when you put the stamp on there and then they tell you shredded it, you say, wait, you just shredded United States property? I had U.S. stamps on there. You shredded United States property? Oh, boy. I'm just gonna have to tell the United States. I'm gonna call the FBI, tell them that I got it on paper. You admitted it. I got pictures of the instrument I sent you.
How about the CID?
What about it?
Isn't that who you report it to? The CID?
Oh yeah. Go ahead, report it to them. Yeah.
CID, what is that?
That's the investigation division of the IRS.
Right. So yeah, what we're gonna do here, I'll show you. It's in IRM CID. Criminal Investigation Department. What we investigate: abusive return preparer enforcement, abusive tax schemes, bankruptcy fraud, corporate fraud. Okay, employment tax enforcement, financial institution fraud. See? Gaming, illegal gaming operations, general fraud investigations, healthcare fraud, identity theft schemes, international investigations, money laundering, Bank Secrecy Act, public corruption crimes. It would fall under here, financial institution, right? Criminal investigation focuses on tax and money laundering violations involving fraud against banks, savings and loan associations, credit unions, check cashers, money remitters. See, there it is right there. Money remitters and other financial institutions. A lot of these guys are remitters, right? Because those billing statements are remittances, right? And that falls under, I'll show you.
Because a statement isn't truly a bill.
That's right. It's not a true bill. It's well, those things are bonds, right? That's what they are.
Yes, the top part is a bond, right? And then the lower portion is a remittance coupon.
Correct. Yeah, remittance transfers. So this is it. So look, 15 U.S. Code 1693 0-1, remittance transfers. Each remittance transfer provider shall make disclosures as required under this section in accordance with the rules prescribed by the Bureau. Right? We're talking about the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection. All right. A remittance transfer provider shall provide in writing and inform that the sender may keep to each sender requesting a remittance transfer. Okay. Look at what a remittance transfer is. Transfer of funds requested by a sender located in any state to designate recipient that is initiated by a remittance transfer. What the fuck? Like, why do they make these definitions like this other than to confuse people? There's no other reason. All right. Whether or not the sender holds an account with the remittance transfer provider or whether or not the remittance transfer is also electronic fund transfer. Okay. It does not include the transfer described in paragraph A, an amount that is equal or lesser than the amount of the small value transaction determined. See, that's why I tell people you can't overdo the coupons. You can't write it for more than what it's worth because it's either in an amount that is equal to or lesser than the amount of a small value transaction determined by rule to be excluded from the requirements. Okay, so you have to either make it out for the amount or less. You can't do it over. All right.
Yeah, I got in trouble for that. The CID is sending me letters because I sent them a 1040 voucher for $250,000, which they put on my credits, and then they sent that to my bank, and now they want their money back.
Yeah, because you didn't have anything to back up the voucher. See, the voucher is they use the vouchers not as an instrument unless you create it as one, but it doesn't work like that. It's not the same. So when people are doing that, it does credit it immediate automatically. But once they go looking for the instrument that backs it, then they can't find it. That's what happens. So there's no instrument backing that up. The voucher is just there to show that the credits are either going positive or negative. So
Right. And then I sent them a letter with my bonds on file with the Treasury and told them to get the money from there. And then I'm still waiting on the letter back.
right. So yeah. Um, let's see. But oh yeah, wow, holy smokes, the time is going by. I have to get out of here soon. I'm sorry, guys, but I gotta go. So before I go, I just want to let everyone know. First of all, everybody hanging out on TikTok, I appreciate everybody hanging out here. Um, I object 3 times. Case is gone. There's like so much stuff going on TikTok. I missed all this great stuff. Um, but also thank you to everybody on here on Zoom and everyone watching on YouTube as well. I appreciate everybody being on here today. I what was one thing? Oh yes, by the way, so this stuff that we're talking about in here right now, okay? I go more in depth into this stuff in my trust community, right? So I have a private group where we go over more detailed information on this stuff. You are welcome to join the community. There is a monthly fee, but you will learn like the stuff with like the 1040 voucher, why that process did not work. There's a reason why it didn't work. We talk about that privately, so that way we don't have to expose what we're doing. It's all private and contained within. And that way it also keeps and preserves the processes that we do in there so that they continue to work for years to come. Okay, so I welcome you guys to join that membership. It's a lot of fun, and whoever's in there, if there's anyone that's in that now, come in and
Yep.
tell people,
Yeah, I can vouch for it. It's awesome. It's been amazing. I just joined, and yeah, I've been really cramming it in, and it's an amazing resource. So yeah.
Well, thank you.
Where can I find that at, Joe?
Let me pull up the hold on, let's see.
It's on your link tree, or it's on his link tree if you know where to find that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find
on TikTok.
It's on TikTok, but I gotta get the maybe I'll do it this way. I'll go here. I will go to TikTok right now. Pull this up.
Hey, Jake, I heard you brought your mom.
Jake brought his mom. I don't know. Stupid. All right, anyway. Let's see. Trust membership. Okay, learn more. All right, so I'm going to share this in the Zoom. I'm going to share this on YouTube as well. All right, so guys, yeah, if you want to be a part of the membership, go. I'd love to have you on there. Remember, on a public forum, I don't like talking about certain things because it's a little. Look at all the process that people share on YouTube and on TikTok, and look how everyone complains about how they don't work.
Yeah, they're all wrong.
It's not that they're all wrong. It's that when they go into a public forum, they stop honoring those processes. Okay. And the reason why they stop honoring those processes is because they want, here's what they want. Okay. They don't mind if you figure something out, right? You figure out something, you go, oh, this is how that works. And then you do it. They say, okay, you know what? You deserve the fruits of your hard-earned labor, right? We can all agree on that, right? You work hard for something, you earned it. That's yours, right? Like, let's say you saved up money, you bought like a 10-acre piece of land, no house on there, nothing, right? But you earned that land. That's yours. And then you decide you're going to build a log cabin on that land. That's going to take time, but that's your hard-earned effort to build that nice home, right? That's all yours. No one can ever take that away from you. You put in the labor, the work into that. That's yours, unless you decide to give it up, right? But yeah, that's yours, and that's how they view it. Like, hey, look, this guy put a lot of time and study into the and research, and he worked out this thing, and we're gonna honor it with him. So they recognize that. But once they start, then they'll see like maybe 3, 4 people doing it. And he goes, all right, he told a couple of his friends, they get it. Then what happens is like another 50 people start doing it. Then they start sharing it. Now 1,000 people doing it. And by the way, once you start altering the process, okay, it doesn't work. I see people alter. Everyone alters process. I don't like the way he's doing it, even though he got results. I'm going to do it this way because I think this way's better. I don't care if you think your way's better. Like, get real here. Like, this guy's doing a process that works. Just do it the way he's doing it, right? But everyone's got to do it their own way. And then, of course, they screw it up. And then they go and share with another 10,000 people how to do the process the wrong way. And, of course, it doesn't work, right? Or if they even show it the right way, then what happens is that they shut it down because now you overwhelm the office that was taking care of that process, okay? And what happens is that they just start throwing them away. Okay, got that from somebody internally. They said, yeah, when we start seeing filings like that, we just throw them away because they consider them. They'll tell people who are taking those things, they go, that's nothing, just throw it away. That's one of those scammer things or whatever they'll say. But before that, they were honoring the process. So it tells you that there was legitimacy to the process originally. But in the trust community, we will be doing processes, setting up special trusts to do certain types of processes that do work and that we're going to keep private. Okay. Also, of course, you learn how to operate in trust. You learn how to write a trust. I mean, imagine the ability that you have or the amount of power that you're going to have because you can sit down and just write a trust on a whim. So, you know what? I'm going to write a trust today. Boom, boom, boom. Right? Or all of a sudden, let's say a loved one is getting sick and they're dying. They don't have a will. You say, well, let's not do a will. Let's do a trust because we know that a trust is going to bypass the probate court. And now you sit down and write the trust out and bang, now they have a trust. Okay. And now all their belongings are going to be protected and go to those who they wanted to go to without the use of probate, without the use of any of those, government officials who are like, trying to get their greedy hands on everything and try to rob the estate blind before anyone gets anything. All right. They eat that stuff up in the courts and stuff. So just bypass it. The trust does all that. Also, asset protection, people have used that things to do all kinds of things. We've used just getting a trust and then using that to discharge a home. Okay, get rid of court cases. And there's a lot of things you can do with trusts. But it's more than just that. It's really it's centered around trust, but there's a lot of things that we're doing that kind of go outside of that a little bit, right? Such as utilizing the estate. And that's an important thing that people really need to learn is how to utilize the estate. How do we use the birth certificate? Okay, I'm going to be putting in documents into the community. Absolutely. It's totally 100% about how to operate in the private. And that is what I'm teaching everyone how to do, how to operate in the private completely and wholly. Okay. So that way nothing of you specifically is in the public. Okay. You don't need this. You won't need the social security number anymore. You won't need to use it. Okay. And the people who are going to be in that community are going to be people who can stand their ground, okay, against anything, because all power stems from the ability to hold a position in space, right? And if you can hold your position on something, you're powerful, okay? And knowledge is what gives you that ability to hold that position. If you don't know about something, you kind of go, well, I don't know. And people even physically do that. They go, I don't know. But when you know something, they just, nope, that's wrong. I know what I'm doing, right? You can stand your ground. And that's what the trust community offers you, is the knowledge that you need in order to hold your position in space against any tyrant or anybody out there that wants to do you harm or do you wrong, or in some way tries to lie or manipulate to you too, because you'll be able to see through all that. No, I know he's full of shit. I've seen these guys, like the prosecutors, they're so cute. They try to they'll try to say something like, well, that doesn't mean that, that's this here. And that's all wrong. And I go, no, it's not. And you go, it is. I'm like, show me what it says. I'm not, oh, come on, I'm not doing that with you. Whoa, you're a prosecutor. If anybody's going to open up the books to these laws and these statutes, it's going to be you. All right. And if you're saying you don't want to do that, well, imagine being a roofer, right? And your boss says to you, rip that roof off the house. You go, oh man, I don't want to do that today. Come on. All right, you don't want to do that today? You don't have to do it tomorrow either. Get the fuck off my job. You're fired, right? But the prosecutor doesn't want to do that, and he gets to keep his job. His job is literally to go look at the laws and see what the laws say, and then adjudicate, whether or not he should actually be bringing charges against this man. Was this man's rights violated? Because if they were, well, he should be going after the one who violated his rights rather than the statutes. Okay, so yeah, but you're going to have that ability to be able to stand there and be able to combat these people. Okay, and that's what we're doing in the trust community.
Hey, Joe, let me ask you one question and I'll hush.
All right, real
Can
quick, 'cause
you
I
do
gotta
a
go. Huh?
Can I do a promissory note to myself or to one of those places, and because I'm retired and on a fixed income?
Yes.
If we could do the promissory notes to pay for that, see, then we could continue to grow more.
Yes, you can. There is some stipulations about that. But yes, technically you can, but you have to have some things worked out. It's way too much for the amount of time I have. I literally have like 1 minute and then I gotta hop off. But
okay, thanks.
yeah, you're welcome. All right, guys, great hanging out with you. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Joe. Have a good one, brother.
You too.
Thanks, Joe. You rock.
You too. Thanks for sharing that. That was awesome information. I appreciate everyone who shared information today and everyone who has contributed, even if it was bad information, because look what we did with that.